guys, I am Pixel Dan, and today I am going to be taking a look at Musculoids. What are Musculoids, you might ask? Well, these are a pretty unique and amazing independent toy line that is done in that 5.5 scale. You know, the 5.5 figures I'm a big fan of. Classic stuff like Masters of the Universe. And these guys right here, well, these are like extra beefed out versions of the He-Man type body type in action figure form. Exactly why are they called Musculoids? And as you can see right there from the packaging, they are the most muscular figures in the universe. It's an amazing concept. So, got to give a very special shout out to the Musculoids crew for sending these along to look at in the video. And the way these were described is essentially that they wanted to recreate that feeling of seeing He-Man for the first time as a kid, because He-Man seems so big and larger than life. So recapturing that now as an adult, they've created the biggest, beefiest, most muscular figures in the universe. It's a hilarious concept, and it makes for some very, very unique looking toys. So you can see these just come on these little laminated card backs here, and I've actually got several figures here that we're going to be looking at today. Here's one that's not quite as hulked out because he's a bit of a skeleton guy, and then there's this guy right here, which is, holy cow, just absolutely amazing. Look at this guy. So we're going to look at all these guys out of the packaging, but let's look at the back real quick, because first of all, we got this awesome artwork with all these buffed out dudes up here, and the back says, "Take a journey into absolute strength, where the bulkiest beasts and the brutalest warriors collide in a battle to determine the ultimate fate of the universe. Part man, part mutant, all muscle, Musculoids." And here's our character. So we've got the Necro Wizard, which I've got right here. We've got Torg, which is right here. We've got Zyklon, which is another character that we've got here to look at today. Some of the ones I don't have include Ape Face, which is just a hilarious name. Razor. Then there's Master Brain, which is this amazing dude right here. Frostbite, I really like the look of. And then we got Thun, which is another one of the ones I'm going to look at here today. And then down here we got Crush. I love his giant hands. Black Mold. This dude doesn't have muscles at all. He's just a skeleton. Lord Massive, which is amazing. And Mutant Zyklon. And as you can see at the bottom, it says, Musculoid action figures are handmade of durable, hard rubber and resin, featuring the most massive builds on any 5.5 figure ever. So yeah, that's what's really interesting about these guys. They're very durable, and they're made of a rubber-like material. So these aren't really like there's some resin on there, but you know, a lot of custom figures that we look at are like hard resin, so they can be breakable or fragile. These are made of this very durable rubber, so they actually feel really good. There's no paint chipping or anything like that. Let's pull these guys off these little laminated card backs and get a closer look at them. All right, we got our crazy, huge Musculoids action figures outside of the packaging so we can get a closer look at them. So these dudes right here, they're in that 5.5-inch scale, but here, just since we were talking about it, let's bring good old He-Man in here for comparison. Look at these dudes. Look at the size difference between He-Man and Torg here. So the figure stands roughly almost a full 6 inches tall. So even though they're technically built in that 5.5 style, that is the scale that they're in, they do stand a little bit taller, probably because of the mass that is put on these guys. And you can see the way they stand up next to He-Man there. It is amazing. Look, He-Man, you've got nothing on Torg. Look at those muscles. Look at those muscles. Ah! These dudes are awesome, and they actually feel really good being made of that kind of harder rubber. Now, the joints can pop off pretty easy. In fact, that was the easiest way to get them removed from those card backs there, but you can see that they do retain some articulation. The heads themselves don't seem to turn too much, like they're kind of on those little rubbery joints, but look at that. You can still move the arms up and down as you would expect. You can turn the torso. You can move the legs around. They're just on those little kind of like nub, those little joints there. Boom, just plugs them in, and they actually stand up really good. You can balance them up. The rubber is actually, you know, nice and balanced and weighted, and man, they make for some very cool looking toys. Very, very crazy looking, but I love the artistic direction of these. I think they are so much fun. They're just so bizarre and so unique. I mean, look at one of the things about the vintage Masters of the Universe line that I always liked, especially as a kid, is how chunky and big they felt in your hands. And of course, as you grow up, they don't feel as big as they did when you were a kid. So that's totally what they're doing here, is they're making these feel like big, chunky toys in your hands. Bigger, beefy or larger-than-life characters, exactly the way we remember the old He-Man toys feeling. I think that's just a really fun concept for a toy line. So they do all come with the same kind of sword, as you can see there, but they're just painted up in different colors. They do share very similar body types, but, you know, we got different looks. There's a good mixture of cloth material on there, so, you know, I got like this leather-like material for Torg's cape. You've got Zyklon over here with like the furry white cape, which is very cool. Also, gosh, you gotta love Skull guys, right? The skull head with the bat wings is just so cool. But I also totally dig Torg's afro. He is pretty amazing. This guy right here, what was this guy's name again? This is Thun was his name. So he's got more of kind of like a goblin-like look, I guess, to his face. You got those teeth there. You got that little Viking helmet. Again, articulation very much the same. Man, these dudes, they are so cool. But let's look at two of the more unique guys in this set. So this is the Necro Wizard, which is such a great name, by the way. And I love that like classic wizard-like head there with the beard and the hair. Very glittery wizard cap, which is really cool. But he's got like this skeleton body with this cloth robe on over it. Now this guy isn't articulated. He looks like he's all made of like cast and play, that rubbery material there, that solid rubber, so you can't move his arms or his legs. It's worth noting he balances just fine. He looks great. He does have that same sword there, so you can see he posed in his hand. He just can't move his arms up and down. But man, I love this. But we got to talk about this guy right here, because Master Brain is such a unique looking 5.5 figure, and he has got to be my favorite of this bunch, just for multiple reasons. I mean, he's a fun looking character. He's very unique. I love the sculpt of the brain, but I also love the colors. Look at the colors that are used here, with like these pinks and yellows and oranges and reds, and then he's got all this glitter on there that makes him very shiny and really kind of got this great shimmer to him and makes him stand out. He's got the same legs as Torg and Zyklon and them over here. You know, the same beefy legs, the same 5.5 style furry loincloth there. But his upper body is just this big solid brain with a face on it. So there's no arms or anything, making him very, very unique. But oh my gosh, he is just so very cool. I love how unique he is. Just really, really neat. So I love these guys, but you guys know me, I love weird and wonderful and creative stuff like this. Taking the idea of stuff we loved as a kid, vintage toys like this, and just really doing something fun and different and weird with it is always going to win my heart. And I think Musculoids are just so very cool for those reasons right there. So if you are interested in checking out Musculoids for yourself, if you're like me and you're into the weird, wonderful, artistic stuff like this in the toy world, you can check these guys out on Instagram at Musculoids. In fact, you can actually buy some of these straight from the Musculoids account on Instagram, or there is also a big cartel shop that I will link to in the video description. Just a really fun, bizarre, wacky concept for toys, and I totally love them. Hey guys, thank you so much for joining me for this video. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button, leave me a comment, and don't forget to subscribe. Until next time, my friends.